Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. Two particles linked, even if they're on opposite ends of the universe. He hated it. In 1935, Albert Einstein, the man who rewrote gravity, published a paper specifically to prove quantum mechanics was broken. Not incomplete, not mysterious, broken. He called entanglement absurd, impossible, a glitch in the equations that needed fixing. Because here's what the math said. Two particles born together share a quantum state. You separate them. Kilometers, light years, doesn't matter. You measure one, the other knows. Instantly. No signal, no delay, no mechanism. Just connection. Einstein called it spooky because it violated everything he believed about reality. Information can't travel faster than light. Objects can't influence each other across empty space. The universe doesn't do magic, but the math didn't care what Einstein believed. Our brain creates ghosts, illusions of faces in static, voices in white noise. But quantum physics proves that magic is real. The ghosts in your head, tricks of pattern recognition, the ghosts in the quantum realm, measured, verified, weaponized. Two particles on opposite sides of a laboratory. You flip one, the other responds. Every single time, no exceptions. Einstein died in 1955 still believing this was wrong. He was wrong. The year was 1982. A laboratory in Orsay, France. Physicist Alain Aspect built a machine to kill Einstein's ghost. Not metaphorically, literally. He was testing Bell's theorem, a mathematical proof that said if quantum mechanics was right, Einstein's entire worldview was dead. The set was simple. Two photons born from the same laser pulse, entangled, sent in opposite directions, measured simultaneously. If Einstein was right, if local realism held, the particles would have predetermined states, hidden variables, answers stored in advance like loaded dice. But that's not what happened. Aspect measured the spin of one photon. The other photon, 11 meters away, instantly matched the opposite spin every time. Not 90% of the time, not close enough. 100% correlation, zero time delay. The universe wasn't storing answers. It was deciding them together across space in the same instant. Einstein's local realism, the idea that objects have definite properties before you look, died in that French lab. But the skeptics weren't done. They found loopholes. Maybe the detectors were communicating. Maybe the timing was off. Maybe the particles knew they'd be measured together. So in 2015, Ronald Hansen's team in Delft went nuclear. They entangled two electrons, not photons, electrons, matter. Separated them by 1.3 kilometers, measured them in less time than light could travel between them, closed every loophole Einstein's defenders had left. The result? Perfect correlation. The electrons didn't just act entangled, they were entangled. Distance meant nothing. Causality bent. And then China launched Invictus, 2017, a satellite that entangled photons between ground stations 1,200 kilometers apart. The distance didn't matter. The vacuum of space didn't matter. The curvature of the Earth didn't matter. Two particles shared a state across a distance that would take light 4 milliseconds to cross. But the entanglement? Instantaneous. For Invictus, this is proof. Distance is an illusion. We are all connected, not metaphorically. Mathematically, the particles don't have a choice. They just are. But here's the trap. Entanglement is fragile. The moment you try to use it, to send a message, to force a signal, it collapses. Connection exists only when you're not trying to control it. The lab proved the magic is real. Now let's talk about your phone. You check it 144 times a day, average for 2024. That's every 6.7 minutes you're awake. Scrolling, refreshing, searching, for what? Connection. And yet, 73% of people report feeling disconnected from other humans. You're surrounded by 8 billion souls. Instant messaging, video calls, social networks designed to bring us closer, and you feel alone. Here's the sick joke. 2 electrons in a lab in Delft, separated by 1.3 kilometers, are more connected than you and the person sitting next to you on the subway. The particles share a state. You and your neighbor? Strangers. The particles don't need to try. They don't swipe. They don't post. They don't perform. They just are, linked by the mathematics of their birth. You're hunting for the ghost of connection, the memory of what it felt like to be known. But you're using tools designed for isolation. Every notification, every like, every curated photo. It's measurement without entanglement. Observation that collapses the wave function before it even forms. The World Health Organization declared loneliness a public health crisis in 2025. Mortality risk equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes per day. You're dying of disconnection while holding a device that promises infinite reach. The particles in Hansen's experiment didn't choose their bond. It was forged in the moment of their creation. Shared origin, shared state, unbreakable correlation. What if you are too? What if every human you pass was born from the same cosmic event, same atoms, same Big Bang, same initial conditions? What if connection isn't something you build, but something you remember? And what if you just forgot how to measure it? The particles don't care about your feelings. They don't care if you believe in them. Two electrons separated by light years share a quantum state, not because they want to, but because the universe doesn't recognize distance as a barrier. Connection isn't optional. It's structural. By 2022, Chinese banks were using quantum encryption for transactions. Unbreakable codes built on entanglement. Here's how it works. You send a message encoded in the quantum state of a photon. If someone tries to intercept it, if they try to measure it without permission, the entanglement collapses, the message destroys itself. The sender knows instantly, no signal required, just awareness. You can't fake quantum encryption. You can't hack it. You can't brute force your way through correlation. The moment you try to control it, it vanishes. Connection exists only when you're not trying to weaponize it. And yet, you're trying to hack connection every single day. Crafting the perfect text, timing your response, calculating vulnerability like it's a negotiation. You think you're building intimacy. You're collapsing the wave function. Here's the trap. Entanglement is fragile, not because it's weak, because it's honest. The moment you introduce deception, the moment you measure without revealing your own state, the correlation breaks. You become a stranger to yourself, and strangers can't entangle. So here's the question. Are you trying to manufacture connection, or are you willing to collapse into it? Because the universe already decided. You're linked to every particle that shares your origin. Same atoms, same explosion, same quantum foam. The bond exists, you're just refusing to measure it. The ghost you're chasing, it's not a memory, it's a state you collapsed, and you can rebuild it. But only if you stop encrypting yourself. You can't force entanglement. You can't fake it. You can only create the conditions, shared origin, mutual observation, zero interference, and let the collapse happen. But here's the trap. The moment you try to control the outcome, the moment you measure without vulnerability, the wave function collapses into isolation. You get exactly what you expected, nothing. The choice is yours. But the entanglement, that was decided 13.8 billion years ago. If you change something here, it changes something there, instantly.